after swallowing the marrow-draining pill. Li Feiyu's eyelids trembled violently, revealing the fierce internal struggle taking place within him. For a brief moment, it seemed as if he might resist. But when he finally opened his eyes, they locked onto the pill in Han Li's hand with a burning intensity that bordered on obsession. There was no hesitation left in that gaze, only desire, only determination. Han Li said nothing more. He placed the pill into Li Feiyu's mouth and watched as he forced it down dry, swallowing with difficulty. Only after that did Han Li carefully remove the silver needles one by one from his body. Soon, the medicine began to take effect. An unnatural flush spread across Li Feiyu's pale face, quickly turning it crimson red. His body started convulsing again, his limbs trembling uncontrollably. Low groans escaped from his throat, at first restrained, suppressed. But the pain was beyond human endurance. Before long, those groans turned into raw, involuntary roars. He did not want to lose dignity in front of Han Li, but agony does not care about pride. The roars grew louder. His entire body shook violently as if being torn apart from within. It felt endless. Only after what seemed like an eternity did the cries slowly fade away. The trembling subsided. The red hue gradually receded from his face. He had survived the worst of it. Li Feiyu slowly sat upright, crossed his legs, and began meditating to regulate his breathing. Han Li quietly moved aside and sat on a nearby stone, observing without interference. He understood that this kind of suffering was something no outsider could truly share. After about the time it took to finish a meal, Li Feiyu suddenly opened his eyes. Without warning, he grabbed his long blade and leapt to his feet. In one swift motion, the blade flashed and the cold edge pressed directly against Han Li's throat. "Give me one reason not to kill you," Li Feiyu said coldly, his eyes filled with killing intent. Han Li's expression did not change. Only the slightest twitch of his brow betrayed that he understood the danger. "I just saved your life. Does that count as a reason?" Li Feiyu's expression softened slightly, but the blade did not leave Han Li's neck. Han Li sighed faintly. "Before I treated you, I already considered that you might silence me to protect your secret. I just didn't expect you to act this quickly." There was no accusation in his tone, only calm resignation. "I practice medicine. I can't stand by and watch someone die, even if saving you might cause trouble for me." Those words lingered in the air. Li Feiyu's grip loosened just slightly. The blade shifted a fraction away from Han Li's skin, though it still hovered close enough to draw blood. Han Li continued evenly, "You don't need to worry about me revealing your secret. I'm not a talkative person. If you're still uneasy, I can swear a poisonous oath. You can see I know no martial arts. If I break my promise, you can kill me easily." "Swear it," Li Feiyu replied bluntly. When Han Li finished the oath, Li Feiyu finally withdrew his blade. Only then did Han Li allow himself to breathe fully. Beneath his sleeve, his fingers had been resting on a hidden metal tube, the last defense he possessed. He quietly removed his hand from it. He touched his neck and felt a thin line of blood. Cold sweat soaked his back. That brush with death left a mark not just on his skin, but in his heart. From that day forward, Han Li resolved something firmly. Without sufficient benefit and absolute confidence, he would never again risk himself to save someone. Compassion without calculation was foolishness in this world. Ironically, this experience marked the beginning of the practical, benefit-driven mindset that would define him for years to come. Li Feiyu regained his composure and formally introduced himself. "You saved my life and agreed to keep my secret. I owe you a great favor. As long as I live, if you ever need help, come find me." Han Li smiled faintly. "You might have more trouble than I do." Li Feiyu looked surprised. "How do you know?" "You're just a protector's disciple, yet you surpass the favored students of hall masters and elders. Do you think they'll let that pass easily?" Li Feiyu fell silent. Han Li then said calmly, "I can't solve your bigger problems, but I can help reduce the pain caused by the pill." Li Feiyu's eyes lit up instantly. Han Li explained that he would need time to prepare the medicine and asked him to return the next day at noon. When Li Feiyu left, Han Li watched his retreating figure quietly. He never once asked why Li Feiyu chose such a self-destructive path. Some wounds did not need to be reopened. Back in Divine Hand Valley, Han Li carefully prepared the pain-relieving formula. It was effective, something he had once researched for Zhang Tai. By evening, he had produced enough for an entire year, though intentionally not more. A favor renewed yearly was more valuable than one paid off completely. That night, however, something unexpected happened. Sitting outside beneath the moonlight, Han Li found himself thinking of home. It had been over 4 years since he left his family. He had devoted himself entirely to cultivation, sending money back regularly, receiving only brief letters in return. Over time, the tone in those letters had subtly changed, polite, distant. As he touched the small leather pouch around his neck, the protective talisman given by his parents, his heart suddenly became restless. His blood surged, the strange energy he cultivated began to stir violently. A terrifying thought flashed through his mind: chi deviation. With Dr. Mo absent, he had no one to guide him. Desperate, he tore off the pouch and threw it away, but the internal turmoil worsened. Gritting his teeth, he retrieved it, pulled out the talisman itself. And the moment it touched his palm, a wave of clarity flooded him. The agitation vanished. Only much later would Han Li learn that this was not chi deviation, but a heart demon, an internal invasion of obsession and emotion. After calming himself, he discovered something astonishing. His cultivation had advanced significantly, nearly reaching the peak of the 3rd layer. While returning the talisman to the pouch, he noticed something long forgotten. The mysterious small bottle. Opening it carefully, he saw the single drop of emerald liquid still resting inside. This time, he did not ignore it. The next morning, he purchased 2 gray rabbits from the kitchen and tied them in the herb garden under the sun. When they were parched with thirst, he diluted the green liquid in water and placed the bowl before them. They drank eagerly. Han Li watched. At first, nothing happened. Then the rabbits grew restless. Their movements became violent. Lungs began swelling beneath their for egg-sized bulges appearing across their bodies. Soon, their entire forms expanded grotesquely. Their bodies ballooned as if filled with invisible air, growing larger and larger until they resembled 2 round, trembling spheres. Their cries were filled with agony. Han Li stared, stunned. If it had been poison, or a strengthening elixir, he would not have been surprised. But this was something entirely beyond his imagination. The green liquid was neither simple toxin nor ordinary medicine. It was something far more mysterious, and perhaps far more dangerous. Standing before the grotesquely swollen rabbits, Han Li realized that the true value and danger of the small bottle was only just beginning to reveal itself.